So, a very good morning to all of you. So, I hope you had a very good, productive yesterday, the first day of Municipalika, and today we are beginning our morning with a very important and a very relevant subject of water. All of us would not be even able to reach our workplaces if we don't have water. So, how foundational and basic it is, and yet so important, is what this session would highlight. I was interacting with a lot of speakers before the session began, and I was really I'm thrilled to know what all different sectors they would be talking about and covering, and they have so much of expertise in various verticals concerning water and use water. You know, I would break my inaugural address into three parts to keep it short. Why it's important, how in Government of India, what are our schemes and policies and missions, on what priorities we want to nudge states for, because as you know, water is a state subject, but we provide all necessary financial, technical support to the cities and the ULBs. And third would be our way forward. And then our people on the dais, they would be speaking about their areas of expertise. It's such a diverse area. Time is 1 hour, but we'll try to do justice to that. Now, when we talk about why we are talking about this subject at the first place, you know that in India houses 18% of global population and only 4% of fresh water sources. Now, you know that our population, urban areas, we say that by 2050, 50% of our population would reside in urban areas. Now, the pressure is continuously increasing, but sources are limited. So, this high time we start thinking about source augmentation. We start thinking about not just what we see on the surface, but also resources beneath the ground. Then you know that India is the largest user of groundwater. Our bore wells, starting from 1 million at one point of time, has crossed over 20 million. So it's very, very important that whatever we are extracting, we are also putting it back in the system. So circularity is the biggest topic of discussion, and something that we have been nudging from the ministry, from the states to think about. In the ministry, we are running a mission called Amrut, that is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. Now, it is built on 5 pillars that are our 5 priorities. First pillar, as I spoke about, that is the source augmentation, source diversification. We need to strengthen our sources. For that, it is important that we talk about the aquifers. We talk about recharging the shallow aquifers. We do have sub-schemes under which we are doing that through proper planning with the cities, but we need to scale up, and a lot of interesting technology interventions that support it, and we can easily map our shallow aquifers, we can easily recharge our shallow aquifers, we can ensure that the water that's going waste is captured. Second would be that whatever comes from the source, we have to now plug our leakages in the distribution network, in the transmission network. For that, technology comes in place. For that, the SCADA systems. For that, all your, starting from your bulk meters, your flow meters, to your household individual meters. Every distribution transmission loss also needs to be captured. Now, how many of us know in our cities that what is our non-revenue water? What is actually our non-revenue water losses? It is all the estimations that we do. None of the city, very few, have actually been able to capture that, study that, and have a strategy in place to build on that data, and also have effective plan to arrest that losses. This is high time that we have to study our NRW losses. We need to have strategy. We have to leverage the technology tools available today to arrest those losses. Then comes your household level. It is so important for us to involve citizens in whatever we do for water. It is such a basic element, as I said. It is such a big responsibility on each one of us to see that we conserve water. So it's a behavioral change also, and we also clean our water tanks. We also see how our sumps are working. Now, you would see that many a times we have seen in the testing that the samples are passing at the WTP level, but when it comes to at the household level, the sample rates are lesser in terms of the quality. Why? because a lot of contamination that happens on the way and even at the household level. So a strategy to arrest those things is something we all need to think about, and this is something even under the mission we are trying to push for. Talking about community engagement, now you know ladies are central and fulcrum of this entire water conservation journey since the beginning, because they are the ones who are actually spending most of the time managing water for the entire family and for their villages also. So it's so important that how we engage the women in this entire exercise. So for that, under Amrut also we took this initiative of community engagement, under which Amrut Mitra, the women self-help groups, now are involved in field level water quality testing, management of parks. So therefore this last mile link between the ULB and the government, you know, the citizen, it can actually be plugged. The implementation gap can be plugged with the community partnership of these women, the civil society groups and the self-help groups. So the community actually would ensure that there's a talk about this entire topic and this entire thing of water. Now you know that we talk about circularity, and since yesterday I was talking, there's a lot of talk going on with circularity. So closing the loop, starting from your source, then your distribution, then your household, then the community, is when the water is treated, and you know so much of money is getting pumped in for setting up of the used water treatment plants in our country. But we need to now promote definitive reuse of treated water. So much of treatment facilities are being created, but we need to ensure that through our policy nudges, through our state efforts, through the policies of Government of India, we are trying to nudge cities to start using their treated waters for various secondary tertiary purposes. Now you know dual piping system is operational in some colonies. It can be used for lake filling, it can be used for dust mitigation, sprinkling on roads, so many places. In Chandigarh we used to use it for the parks. So there's so many uses, we can put it with the municipal things. Then for industry, you know, it is being used by the thermal plants and so on and so forth. But now it is an important point that all the people present here today from various different states should actually absorb and imbibe that now we need to have a very seriously executed a water resource recovery cell. That also under Amrut we did this initiative of Jali Amrut, under which states have created. But it is more important to have a definitive reuse policy that is implementable on ground. Today I was reading in the morning that Uttarakhand has come up with this policy wherein they have mandated that every treated water should be used for the purpose of agriculture. So therefore, lot of good things happening in various cities and ULBs, but how we create a critical mass that it becomes a norm and not an exception is something we need to work towards. And for that, when we talk about our mission now, we are from the beginning, from the source, you know, we are building so many water treatment plants, almost 1,25,000 kilometers of pipelines are being laid or have been laid already. So much of used water treatment capacity is being created in the cities. We are giving funding for SCADAs, for all your transmission network. So much of funding is going in this sector, but still we need a lot of more participation. And for that participation now, you know that Urban Challenge Fund has also been announced, in which we are trying to leverage the private capital in partnership with the funding from Government of India and the state. So under the UCF, that 50%, water sanitation is one of the sectors in which 50% a ULB has to raise either from municipal bonds or as bank loans or private sector partnership, and 25% would be the Government of India funding, and the rest 25% can come from the state or ULB. So therefore, to further boost the investment in this sector, seeing the importance of this sector, it is imperative for each one of us to now also start thinking that how we bring in PPP partnerships in this water sanitation sector that usually we see, say, is a social sector. So, you can never have that kind of value capture, but still, there's so much you can recover if you have your user charges in place, if you have your transmission losses in check, and if private sector can also be responsible for investing, helping you with billing and collection. So a lot of good models available. So I would urge each one of us to think about, boosting the partnership of the private sector also in this entire water sanitation sector. Apart from this, when we talk about the transmission losses, the distribution losses, a lot of contamination in the water networks, it's also imperative, and that also we are trying to, through our Amrut mission, trying to promote, is ring from tap. That is 24/7 water supply. So moving away from intermittent water supply to continuous water supply. Now, we had mandated that at least every one ward of every Amrut city should try for 24/7. And many cities, for example, around 20,000 crore worth projects, have taken up at least one ward to be 24/7. It's a huge challenge, and each one of us realizes that. But we need to start somewhere. So we can start with the ward, we can see how it works, and then we can always fan out and expand it further. So it's very, very important that we now start thinking on the directions that internationally we feel are accepted. So from intermittent to continuous 24/7 drink from tap quality water is something we should all look forward towards. So way forward, if I talk about, would be that we really need to focus on circularity. So from the start, from the source to getting it back, the entire loop we need to, be completed, and all our strategies should be focused on completing that entire loop. Secondly, we should now start to leverage technology. There's so much technology available in this sector. Now, when we talk about water body rejuvenation, we were recently talking, there's so many different technologies that are coming in which our water quality of our lakes, our water reservoirs in the cities, they can improve. So we have to start. So second would be we have to start leveraging technology for every possible aspect of our sector. So be it from the source of the best quality WTPs that the cities are making to the best leveraging of your SCADA networks in the distribution thing, how to use SCADA actually to make an informed decision making, everything you can actually leverage through technology. I was saying the other day that how many countries are also using digital twin modeling to see and predict for future, that after 25 years, if my population is growing, what would be my demand? What would be my kind of capacities I would be needing to build? So now we need to think in that direction, and with AI, with technology available around us, it's very much possible for us to know where we stand today and where we should be 25 years from now. So thirdly, I would say that we have to engage people in this entire exercise. People should know what's happening, water in this city. They should know what kind of quality of water they are actually consuming. So many cities and states have institutionalized that they put display boards for people to see the quality of water available. So such practices should be widely adopted so that we know who is doing what. So I feel that such conferences, such summits, they really help people talk to each other. So we get to know who's doing what. And rather than reinventing the wheel, we can actually scale up what is a good practice in one particular city or state. So therefore, not taking much of your time, I would just urge that this is such an important sector that we really need to sit together, ideate, brainstorm on where we would be and what would be our contribution on our journey to Viksit Bharat 2047. Because water being the most basic, but without it, our entire journey can never be complete and even cannot be imagined. So therefore, it is very important, and the onus lies on each one of us, that how we plan for our city for the next 25 years, that we contribute our part to this journey of Viksit Bharat 2047. Thank you so much, and looking forward for very fruitful and a very engaging session ahead. Thank you. So I think now we can start with our session with the first speaker. So I would request if you can just introduce yourself, and then if you have a presentation, you can share that. Yeah.
Hi, good morning. My name is Tarun. I'm the founder of Eco SCB Technologies. I'm from Bangalore, and my colleague Aman is here. He's based out of Delhi. Right, so quickly what we're going to speak about is decentralized sewage treatment system based on nature. So nature-based systems, you all be familiar, nature-based systems. So that's what we do. We use a technique known as biomimicry, mimicking nature. We've been mentored by Biomimicry Institute based out of US and learned a lot from them. We are a 8-year-old startup, 7-year-old startup now. So let me jump in straight. What is biomimicry? Biomimicry is mimicking nature. What is the nature? You mimic it, you copy it. So that's what we do. And then there are so many examples. Velcro is one example. There are multiple examples. I don't go into examples, but there are so many examples in the world where you can learn from nature. This one, is very interesting one. I mean, I don't know how many swimmers are here. Is Mike Phelps a swimmer? He won 8 gold in one Olympics because he's wearing a shark skin suit. So shark skin had a small dentricles that was mimicked. So that's where it's not easy to copy nature. Nature does a lot of wonder, but copying is not easy. That's why the technique known as biomimetics comes in. You mimic the whole thing. So when you mimic that shark skin suit, he got a 15% brain gain, and that helped him win the 8 gold, 1%. Right? It was banned immediately. So a lot of things in nature is based on shape, not really. So coming to the STP straight, a problem, you all know the problem, it's a big problem. The we all know that a lot of STPs won't work in this country for multiple reasons. This is a recent news from Bangalore that says 90% are not working, right? So anyway, the question is why it's not working? Not working because it needs a lot of maintenance. Normal STPs needs maintenance. You have to blow air 24 hours and you have to add fresh bacteria every 1 hour, and that's it. There's only one technology available for the last 100 years, no change. Blow air from the bottom and add fresh bacteria. And it works well, very well. If you maintain it well, if you blow air, if you add bacteria, if you maintain well, it works very well. But many cases, they don't maintain well. Once you hand over to the resident, they don't maintain well. So that's why the problem is. Technology is good, but it is not right looking for it. So we said, okay, it's not possible, I can't blow air 24 hours. Is there any other way out? How did nature solve this for all this 4.3 billion years? That be some other way out. That's why we came to this technology called EcoSTP, and we started mimicking the cow. So this one animation done by BBC team. BBC team came down to Bangalore. So cow has got 4 chambers, rumen, reticulum, omasum, and works on anaerobic digestion. Good old septic tank works also on anaerobic digestion. So the bacteria in a cow's stomach, we work with IIT Jammu research, and we derive the bacteria from a cow dung, and we incorporate, and the cow structure also we copy, biomimicry, and you put bad water, you can good water out. So this is how the system looks like. And there are 4 stages. I'm not going deep into this, but you put bad water in, you put good water out. No power, no chemicals, no operators, and it works. We have over 400 installations all over India. So multiple stages, mimicking a cow stomach. Good old wetland. The wetland is the last stage, and you get clean water. You have to get BOD 10 purity water, COD 50 purity water without any power or chemicals. No moving parts. In fact, we have done for CPCB in Bangalore for last 5 years. No moving parts. We done in Amrit. Thanks, ma'am. We were one of the Amrit winners, and we deployed in Majnukatila last 2 years. No moving parts. Works very well. The Majnukatila was fully flooded with water recently. Flood came down. It still worked because it's a sponge. Because the nature-based systems works. Because there's no motor, no chemical, no operators, nothing involved. So this works. A lot of civil works are there. A lot of pipes goes in. A lot of contraption goes in, which I call the guts of a cow. So all these chambers will be there. But once all done, this is how it looks like. This is an example from Bangalore. So it's a playground. Below the playground is the STP. So yellow is stage 1, the blue is stage 2, and the green is the stage 3, and the wetland, the last stage, we call PBF. Water, recycle it back. So same water used over 1,000 times. So same like ma'am said, recycle the water. Over 1,000 times. We last booked for last 7 years. So whatever the resistance flush, the washing machine waste, grey water, black water, all comes into the tanks, underground tanks, beautifully done, and then recycled back. Now, once in 2 years, you have to remove the sludge, which is a fertilizer. Wherever kids are doing, there you remove the sludge. Once in 2 years. That's only maintenance, nothing else to be done. In fact, Majnukatila, last 2 years, we've not done anything. This works, no moving parts. So, what we supply the kit. Right? We only give the tech. We give certain structures, the bacteria which work with IIT Jammu, anaerobic bacteria. So, we call a kit. So, buy the kit from us, and you can put the civil work, and the STP is ready. So that's how we've been doing. We're doing all over India now, and we started in Bangladesh and Maldives. It's completely a nature-based system. So we conform to 6 SDGs undertaken by IIT Jammu. So we've done a study on what the SDGs means. We've done that. Lot of ROI less than 2. It costs just 2 rupees per KL compared to 32 rupees a student. So running cost is way low. The capex one-time cost will be slightly high because you're putting all the civil work, but once it's all implemented, it is way low. It's just 2 rupees per KL. And this is not a fluke, it actually works, so you can go and see. Customers we have all over India, like I said, we have done for Amrit, we have done for Central PCB, Delhi, we are just implementing one for Adani Realty, just going live next month in Gurgaon. So Adani Realty Grande in Gurgaon, the entire flats have been treated by us. So we have customers in Delhi, customers all over India, and we started in Bangladesh and Maldives. And how do we, if I go and tell no power, no chemical, no moving parts, very tough to people to believe it. So we use customers as the salesperson, right? So we use customers to push. For the center person, my favorite is a Tata Steel. So Tata Steel general manager wearing Tata shirt, holding the STP water and says it is that good. So that's how we treat. Recognitions, we have whole lot of recognition, I'm not going through it. We have over 24 international recognitions we got. But the best one was last week, 2 weeks back, when I was in Bharat Mandapam here. We pitched to the Modi ji, we got selected to present to Modi ji, and also we won the most circular innovator award for Startup India. Yeah, and that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think a very important and pertinent point you covered about operation and maintenance of assets. Usually in the cities we would see even the best technology STP, but the challenge is O&M. So if we have such technologies that can actually rationalize the cost of O&M, so it would put less burden on the ULBs and it can be more sustainable. But now you said that it is without any need of power. So it's like through gravity. And it's all underground based. Great. And what would be the land requirement and how much MLD can you do? So it's, okay, so it's a good model for a decentralized 1 MLD kind of capacity. Great. Fine. So I think we can go to the next speaker, please. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm Dr. George Joseph Timpangat, and it is a pleasure to be here. I really want to thank Mr. Suresh, who's very much the brain behind this whole conference, and I thank him for having invited me here. My background is in medicine. I've taken an MBA after my medicine in the US. I was in the US for 25 years. And I came back to India following my petition before the High Court of Kerala to stop fecal matter from dropping on the Indian railway tracks. So that is what I was able to accomplish in terms of getting the green bio-toilets on the Indian railway, which led me to meet President Kalam. And I asked him a question: "Sir, can we produce electricity from human fecal matter?" He said, "Of course you can." I mean, he's energetic, almost like Mr. Suresh, dynamic person, energetic and vibrant. And I was surprised because I didn't know you can produce electricity from fecal matter. And that's showing the mosquito and the bug on the slides. You can continue showing the other slides. There's a few. I'm going to go in a disruptive manner. What we can do, having gone to that plant in the US, I realized is that India has actually the largest population in the world, and we all produce human fecal matter. And that is a big problem for our government, for our cities, for our homes, and that fecal matter is contaminating the groundwater. And I realized we can produce electricity from fecal matter. I believe we can have a revenue of 1 lakh crore per year, even if you got just 10% of the fecal matter. It is a really, it's called 1 lakh crore is I think what India has to pay Saudi Arabia for the crude oil. That is something we can have. I mean, there are various aspects to this. I just want to go back to, what are we as human beings? Almost 80% or even more of our body is made up of water. Water is life. If you don't have clean water, we are as good as dead. and we have cities flooding with water, with all the sewage and everything. The diseases that we have must be managed, must be controlled. I'll give you one perfect example from my hometown in Kerala, in Chakkanasheri. And that's where a 12-kilometer canal was built in 1803, when that city was designed. And the king and his team had studied from Kanyakumari all the way to Trichur, the Western Ghats and the water flow, and then built the canal. To this day, no flooding occurs in that town. Such a perfect system with no technology of the kind we have today. But they had the basic knowledge and they did it. Today we have all the technology, but we don't use the technology properly. I mean, they had even 2018 flood. It did flood Chakkanasheri. The canal is built in such a way that the water flows, and it flows 12 kilometers. That is the time when the world was building canals. There was the Erie Canal and all kinds of canals all over the world. Like today we are building metros, the metro as we call it. So the canals have moved on, and we have stopped using the canals. There's a video I have of the canal in Kerala. If you can play that video. Are you there? The video?
From the laptop,
Oh, okay. I think they are doing it. Yeah, this is actually video showing.
The strongest passport is Singapore. The most expensive country in the world is Switzerland. The most dangerous country in the world is Brazil. The safest country in the world is Iceland. The most peaceful country in the world is Norway. The country with the most UNESCO World Heritage Sites is Italy.
The dirtiest
the
country
most
is
festive
India.
country in
That's what I'm interested in. In that list, it's saying India is very dirty, very bad. So how do you clean up? There's another video. How do you get that? Please
The
put
poorest country in the world is South Sudan. The most visited
No,
country.
the first part of that, yeah, of that same video.
The cleanest country in the world is Japan. The dirtiest country in the world
you
is
have it.
India. The country with the strongest passport
So that's
is
it.
Singapore.
I'm
The
interested
most
in cleaning
expensive
up.
country in the
And
world is
having
Switzerland.
done the Indian Railways, I feel it is time to take, with your support, the tracks of India's railway. Both sides are filled with garbage. It'll take us 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month at the most. If we, the people of India, decide that that must be clean, we can have it clean. That garbage must be collected, recycled, processed. So that is how we have to do square mile by square mile. The whole of India, we must clean up. I have a book here. It's called Japanese Gardens. I would love to build, give me 100 railway stations in India. I'll build 100 Japanese gardens with public support. We must make India beautiful. That is when the tourists will come here. I don't want a tourist or a friend of mine from US or Japan or somewhere to come to India, get bitten by mosquitoes, have Delhi belly and go back. We must keep our place clean so that people coming here can have a safe, healthy, fantastic vacation and then go back. If they're going to get sick and they have to live and confine themselves to the sort of 5-star hotels and nothing else, it's going to be pretty bad. If you would play that video on the other one, on the, not this, the other one, the other video, please. On the water, the last one. No, this, and then I do, oh yeah.
What
No.
would be the source of this video? Any source attached to this? I
Yeah,
think
it's an interview with me that they had. Oh, this one?
this one, I think it's an Insta reel is what I...
Yeah, and I'm sad to see India being depicted as the dirtiest country in the world when they're talking
yeah,
about.
because I think there's no source to this, so this is pretty questionable.
Okay, essentially, we need to build what is. If you have a 50,000 population, we can produce electricity from the fecal matter, and that is what I would like to do in maybe 5 different parts of India. And if you take in Delhi, It's probably the IIT and the JNU area, if you would take, that's got about a 50,000 population, and you have the opportunity to do away with septic tanks. And you have a pipe system, and the fecal matter can be collected and produce electricity from it. But the best thing is, you need only 5 drops of water. You don't need to spend 6 liters of water to flush the toilet. So you save water in the very upfront part of the whole process itself. We are wasting so much water in flushing 6 liters of water every time we use the toilet. So we have to have technology advance and save water. And you can get the material which is not having the water added to it, and then it's converted to methane, and the methane is combined with natural gas using what is called fuel cell technology, and you get clean electricity and water as well. I would think in the current situation it costs 25 crores for each of these fuel cell units, and I would think about 100 plus, maybe 125 crores to retrofit a 50,000 population with all the necessary things to capture the material. So in a prototype situation, we can build, I would say, 5 units for 150 crores into 5. I think Manipal University, where I studied, would be a great place. Private investment, 500 acres of land. They have a 50,000 population. I would love to have them come forward. I would like the hospitals in India, all the main hospitals, they must have public health departments. They don't have a department of public health. You know, you have to prevent diseases. You have to, the mosquito that you saw, the mosquito is bred from the dirty water. The dirty water is what, I had a video that was going to, it was an interview showing the market canal in Cochin. It needs to be cleaned up. The water is so dirty. It's black. The mosquitoes are what, no, so it's a vicious cycle, and we have to keep India as clean as Japan does. And we can keep India, and we can make India look as good as Japan. We have all the people you need. We have all the technology you need. We must all take our brooms, be determined. Swachh Bharat is a great initiative. I actually, the Swachh Bharat is the one that allocated 6,000 crores to the green bio toilets on the Indian Railway. So it's a situation where we can all be active. Water is not a separate subject. I believe we can build cities in terms of, you know, a new planned way, where, for instance, if you have a 24-hour metro, I think Delhi needs a 24-hour metro system. It should not stop at 10:30 in the night. The city must, you know.
You know, in interest of time, thank you so much. I think I could understand your passion for you know, the cleanliness, and I'm sure a lot of initiatives the panelists have to share on how they have done, you know, done their bit to ensure this. Thank you. So I think Girishji.
Hello, good morning everyone. Thank you ma'am for setting the tone of the session. I think she covered a lot of topics which I need to do a little bit deep dive, specifically on the water reuse, sewage treatment. So myself, Girish Kale from Veolia, Water Technology Solutions. During the presentation of maybe 5 to 7 minutes time that's being allocated, I will just try to touch base on the various aspects of the technology which Veolia is going to bring in, or rather we have been offering to the municipal sector, especially into the wastewater side, and even on the drinking water side we'll touch base a little bit. These are all advanced technology portfolio, so we'll try to go through on a quick manner to cover as much as possible in the interest of time. So as you all know, Veolia, typically a world leader, having a strong geographical presence. We are close to more than 215,000 employees worldwide, having presence in 56 countries on 5 continents. Global revenue-wise, it has already crossed 45 billion euro. We operate mainly into the 3 business areas: water, waste, and energy. That being said, when it comes to the local presence in India, we are 100% like for India, having the head office in Bangalore, at Whitefield, plus the only multinational company who is manufacturing state-of-the-art reverse osmosis membranes in Hoskote in Bangalore. With third largest technology center also is in Bangalore in Hoskote, having different industrial sites which is running for the zero liquid discharge, where we have the other groups, those are operating, and different regional offices, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and so on. So before going to the main subject on the technology platform, we just thought of, let us understand what are the major challenges what we have seen today in the current wastewater treatment. So some of the factors which I just wanted to touch base, mainly on the 5 areas: aging infrastructure. We all know very much that a lot of wastewater treatment plants are old, and this is one of the challenge where you need to get upgraded to the latest standard while minimizing the capital cost. We have seen last few years there have been a good flow of tenders pertaining to the upgrades and retrofits by maintaining the capex sensitive, and as well as thanks to the new regulations where a lot of changes have been taken place, Niti Aayog and so on, where there is a clear mandate of reuse is also taking place, and that's where we have been focusing on doing a lot of advocacy from last 15 to 20 years in India. Population growth, of course you all know, India being one of the largest populous country in the world, having population of close to 1.45 billion plus, and the country producing more than 70,000 sewage, and out of that I think close to 28 to 30% is only getting treated. A lot of sewage is still untreated. Of course there are a lot of projects are ongoing, so numbers will tickle on the positive side as well. But that being said, this also gives a clear-cut idea that as the population is increasing, you have some challenges when you want to expand the plant. So within the available footprints, what technology solution that can be given to upgrade the plants and meet the regulations exceed that. Water scarcity is again one of the important aspects. As we know, the availability of the fresh water is decreasing day by day. All the world is facing, and India is not different from that. And at the same time, when we have the scarcity, you have the rapid industrialization, rapid population growth, the need of water is going up. So there is a need where we all should also look at it holistically, as ma'am was also saying, that sewage recycle. So there are certain areas which I'll talk a little bit. Micropollutants, this is something which is now getting emerged as one of the important aspects. We have a lot of traditional plants which are based on the conventional technologies. They are not able to really take care of the emerging contaminants. Even PFAS is the subject which is now on the global platform, and even in India people have started talking on the PFAS. The other challenge what all the old sewage treatment plants are nowadays have realized that every year the operating cost is going up. I have not seen any large STPs that next year or something, you build the plant and year over year the plant's OPEX is going down. That's next to impossible. So these are the few major challenges which we have identified in the existing wastewater treatment. To address this, there are technology solutions which are available. We'll go one by one quickly on a technology platform. So as Veolia, we come typically from the technology landscape where we offer technologies majorly into the wastewater side and even the water side. So membrane being one of the important aspects we want to touch base upon. Ultrafiltration, membrane bioreactor, reverse osmosis, and so on. So these are typically being used depending on the what application and the need and the purpose. So generally MBR plants are majorly being used when you are trying to recycle and reuse the sewage for the industrial application, when there is a constraint on the footprint and you need to upgrade the plant to the reuse quality, then the MBR is the best choice. Second, I would say that you have the very, very challenging plot plan and you have to expand within that, and you need to meet and exceed the regulation norms, then again the MBR becomes the preferred choice. Lot of plants are going with the tertiary step nowadays. Whether it is an SBR plant or an ASP plant, 20% reuse is becoming mandatory. Now for that, ultrafiltration has become one of the preferred choice. So you put a tertiary step with an ultrafiltration. So we have our ZVID MBR, ZVID ultrafiltration technologies, which is being used most of the projects, and I can quickly see some of the case studies in the given interest of time. The key point what I want to highlight that there are a lot of people are coming on the MBR side. So right from the Xenon days when Xenon acquired GE, then Suez, and now we have Veolia. See, the important thing is what kind of membrane you are producing. So we are having a patent and the strong manufacturer of MBR plant I have just met a lot of delegates from Bangalore Water Supply Board, and I'm glad to tell you the one of the first references is in Bangalore Water Supply Board in Kabban Park, where the first 2 MLD plant was done on MBR for a park, and the water was reused, and the plant is still running well. Recently we changed the membranes, but that's where the quality comes. You're talking of a reuse quality. We're talking of a BOD less than 5, TSS less than 3 consistently, turbidity going less than 0.5 NTU, fecal coliforms, viruses, because these are all 0.04 micron porosity fiber made up of a reinforced PVDF out to infiltration. We're talking about longer membrane life up to 15 years. So that typically gives a different level of confidence to the customer when you're operating the plant under the reuse. Now new regulations has come, and thanks to a few years back, even on the thermal power plants, recently we commissioned a 50 MLD plant in a Panki under UP Jal Nigam, where the treated water is being used for the thermal power plants. There we have supplied 50 MLD MBR plant and a reverse osmosis plant. We have a lot of references across India. We have more than 500 plants which are running into the both space, municipal and industrial space. We also talk about some of the legacy technologies which are used in the drinking water, mainly to cater the multi-flow and active flow. The smart clarifiers, which is used for treatment, is on an advanced stage, again where the footprint becomes an issue. You go on a higher flow rates, on a riser rate, and you really make the footprint compact. Few of the examples, very quickly I'll just touch base. RSF is one of the forefront in Mumbai, a place called Chembur, where 22 MLD MBR has been put in 5 years back. And this is a classical case where sewage recycle used for industrial application. They take the sewage directly from Ghatkopar pumping station. It passes through our MBR technology, followed by reverse osmosis, and the treated water has been used within the industry premises for all indirect potable reuse. And part of the water even majorly goes to the cooling water, and even it goes to the boiler application. The major benefit what you have realized, that the citizens within that vicinity, 30,000 families get uninterrupted fresh water supply. So there is no...
Sorry to interrupt, running short of time.
Sure. So I'll just quickly touch base that when we talk of securing the Mumbai's future, currently 2 largest sewage treatment plants in Mumbai, close to 900 MLD is under execution on MBR technology, and 3000 MLD. So almost 60% of the drinking water will be done using the Veolia's active flow technology. So we have other technologies, and maybe in the interest of time, I'll just wrap up that we also have solutions on the lake cleaning. We have provided the mobile plants to treat the lake this comes under lake regeneration and beautification project. Maybe in the interest of time, I'll just wrap up, but I would say that you can visit our booth. We are available, and we will address all your questions. We also published a lot of paper, ma'am, in the few years back, addressing the critical water challenges, what government needs to take the step, typically on the incentivization, then creating such kind of a forum of education outreach and having more networking and things like that. So thank you. Just need to wrap up fast. Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you. So I think this important issue of aging infrastructure and how important preventive maintenance of the networks is also a challenge I'm sure all the cities face. And for that, under Amrut, a lot of initiatives are being taken, and we have the CPHO manual to look into such aspects on how the city should undertake the preventive maintenance of their networks. So this is something very important for us to notice. I think, Suraj, can we take you first? So we can have Suraj from Kerala talking about his city and his state as a whole.
So, good morning to all of you. I am Suraj. I am the Director of Urban Affairs in Kerala, as well as the State Mission Director for Amrut Mission. I'll just directly come to Kerala for the want of time. And so let me just set context with the fact that Kerala is abundant with water. We have over 400 odd rivers and 40 to 45 major rivers. And as the author Abraham Burgess in his magnum opus said, that there's a book called The Covenant of Water, and he says that Kerala is a fantasy world of rivers and rivulets. So basically that is a context which sets for waste management in the state of Kerala. And we have a unique hydrological context that we have extremely high rainfall and very high population density. And we have laterite soil which is prone to erosion as well as has very high permeability. So the specific problem we face is that we generate over 300 mld of wastewater in a day, and we are able to treat only 150 to 170 mld. So the rest is the actual treatment gap, and you can make a wild guess where it goes. So therefore, there are a lot of NGT cases against the state, and in many of the cases, I am also a respondent. As Mr. George was saying, we have a lot of canals, but the maintenance of these canals and the actual prevention of pollution in these canals is something which we are working very hard on, but it's been a very difficult case for us, especially with regards to what was said in the earlier slides. We also face a lot of issues with regards to the operation and maintenance of the STPs which we have, and for a state like Kerala, especially something which involves centralized treatment plants is very difficult for us to work with, because we have a lot of issues in laying sewerage, especially due to the high population density and very narrow roads. It's very difficult for us to actually go ahead and lay sewerage, and the cost of laying sewerage is almost triple of what is mentioned in the CPHEO guidelines. So for us to justify that with the government of India is also a problem. And since Isha ma'am is here, I mean, that has been a constant area where we keep demanding additional infrastructural funding so that we can meet our issues. And one specific case in Kerala's viewpoint is that our local bodies do not handle sewerage or water supply. Both of it is done by Kerala Water Authority, and Kerala Water Authority's sewerage as well as pipelines were laid during the period of the Maharajas as well as in the 50s and 60s. So the cost of infrastructure maintenance is very high for us, especially due to the recurrent rainfall. We have rainfall of over 6 to 8 months, and we have an extremely high NRW, which causes a lot of leakage and water supply loss. So in our context, as I really mentioned earlier, we have a very low sewerage connectivity. Most of the houses have septic tanks, but an active sewerage connection in our cities are missing, except for Thiruvananthapuram, which has a coverage of around 50 to 60%, and Kochi, which hardly has a coverage of 10%. So that is one of the major issues we face. And therefore, when these ideas of decentralized treatment was earlier, presented, that was something of very high interest to us, because for us, identifying land for building centralized STPs is one of the major problems we face. As opposed to, say, Kabban Park 600 MLD, my biggest STP is in Thiruvananthapuram, which has a capacity of only 110 MLDs. And other than that, my major STPs are concentrated only in the 3 major cities of Kerala. So the rest of the wastewater treatment is done in a decentralized manner in Kerala, and I'll just push to that particular slide. So this is what we are doing now in Kerala, which is decentralized waste management, and specifically to the example of Alapura, which is again a particular town which is full of water bodies, and here we are focusing on community scale bioreactor wetlands, and also activated bioswales and nano enhanced wetland model. So these are the kind of initiatives which we are trying to push forward, especially in a decentralized manner, because of the lack of land and a centralized system wherein we can lay sewerage and bring it down to the main STPs. So for us, an example which we are working with very closely is that of Odisha, which focuses on FSTPs rather than centralized STPs in the major centers. And I was just looking at the presentation of Eco STP. I was very interested in such systems which uses very less land and which is extremely important for a state like Kerala. And we also have moved ahead from MBR, and currently the focus in the state is SBR because of the lack of land. So again, whatever decentralized treatment options can be available would be greatly utilized, and it will be very important for states like Kerala, the northeastern states, and other states which are extremely population dense. And again, our major sources of funding is the JJM and Amrut Mission. And other than that, the Kerala state is also working with World Bank and ADB for getting multilateral funding. And our problem has been limited private investment in these areas due to centralized utility service providing through water authority or through other agencies which are, where there is a historical inertia towards privatization or being open to other private capital. So our focus nowadays is on leveraging private sector through PPPs and to a certain extent through green bonds, which we are working on. And currently, to a small extent, we can say that we've been successful in some areas. For example, in Kochi, to get a comprehensive sewerage and 24/7 water supply, we have worked with ADB to secure $300 million US dollar loan to do it comprehensively in the city of Kochi. And with that, we'll be aiming to cover at least 70% of the city with sewerage. So slowly, step by step, we are functioning on certain areas. And one of the important areas we as a mission under the state government function is on community participation and awareness. And to improve the public engagement, we have a statewide program called the Jalam Jeevitam campaign, which means water is life. And here we are addressing the public perception regarding the usage of wastewater. As you would all know, in the state of Kerala, reuse of water was not a major concern, till a few months back before the state actually rolled out a comprehensive reuse policy. So to actually have people to have discussions on these subjects and to engage school children and college-going students in these matters, we started with the Jalam Jeevitam campaign. So there is, mock debate sessions, there are flash mobs, and there are programs which involves these children to have active discussions on water and reuse of water and conservation of water. So this has been a very successful project for the state, and it is funded under Amrut Mission. And the future outlook we focus on is first and foremost to accelerate our progress towards 24/7 water supply, which in some areas have been a concern due to the aging infrastructure and the lack of digital interventions. And similarly, we are functioning to achieve 100% wastewater treatment, which now is completely off target, I must say, but with the help of decentralized treatment facilities. And I also would like to go around and have a look at new decentralized plans like the one showcased here by EcoSTP to bring around a circularity of water economy for the state, and also to ensure that the water bodies of the state remain pristine and clean as it always has been, and that we ensure that, as Mr. George said, that India can always be a beautiful country. So thank you. I'm closing there. Thank you.
Thank you, Suraj. I think you spoke of a very important aspect of integrated urban water management systems. So you've seen a couple of cities developing that, wherein they're tapping every source, the rivers, the drains, all your irrigation department data, PWD, BNR data, all your water data is being put at one portal to have your actual availability and usage, and also a strategy for abating the urban flooding. Apart from that, water body rejuvenation and decentralized STPs. So I'm sure a lot of technologies, and we're very open, like anyone in the audience during the Q&A, we're very open to having ideas on having what could be the good decentralized models that are available, because many of the colonies and the localities, they need more of decentralized approaches rather than the centralized ones. So we are very open to be knowing about those technologies for treatment of sewage, apart from water body rejuvenation technologies, because a lot of people are now undertaking these projects of water body rejuvenation. I think Kerala has taken many, but what is a scientific way? So we know that desludging, dewatering, on-site treatment, these are very conventional ways. If there are any other innovative ways that any of the cities doing or executing, we'll be open to that as well. So now I would request Mrs. Singhal for your.
Uh, Respected chairperson, dignitaries on dais, delegates and participants, very good morning to all of you, and thanks for Municipalika for organizing this beautiful events. Friends, as we all aware that not only in India, whole world is facing severe water crisis, and this is due to rapid urbanization, population growth, industrialization, overuse, misuse of water, inefficient irrigation practices, and pollution in freshwater resources. So on one side, our freshwater demand is increasing, and on other side, our freshwater resources are shrinking. So what is the solution in this case? The only holistic solution is integrated water resource management. Means we have to assess freshwater resources in terms of quantity and quality, and demand side management, supply side management, and wastewater treatment, its reuse and its safe disposal. So my presentation, I will speak on our water assessment, water and supply side management and demand side management. So this is the integrated water management, is a holistic approach to manage water resources, and the paradigm now shift from use and throw to use, treat and reuse. In IWRM, we treat all type of water, whether it is surface water, rain water, waste water, storm water, as a one single finite resource to be managed together. So these are the strategy of integrated water management. First, we have to water resource assessment, water demand management, water supply management, wastewater management, flood and drought management, institutional and legal framework, capacity building. Capacity building में मैंने लिखा है water management, training to water manager and also to users. मतलब जनता को भी पता होना चाहिए कि भाई किस तरह से पानी का मैनेज करना है. Now we come to the water resources. Rain water is the primary source of surface water and ground water. जो 3% वाटर है उसका ये है, उसका 77% ग्लेशियर्स में, 11% बिलो 800 मीटर, 11% अप टू 800 मीटर, एंड ओनली 1% in the form of lakes, rivers and streams. This is the rainfall is 1190. Rainfall occur only in monsoon month, 75% rainfall in monsoon month, and it is highly variable with time and space. These are the natural water resources: rivers, lakes, glaciers, wetland and groundwater. River system, the upper is the Himalayan river and lower is the peninsular river system. These are the important lakes in India. These are the reservoirs. Our live storage capacity of all functional dam is only 253.94, means 254 BCM. These are the major reservoirs. किसी की भी capacity 12 BCM से ज़्यादा नहीं है. Our total precipitation in India is 4000 BCM. It includes rainfall and snowfall. And out of this, 53.3% goes back to the environment in the form of evaporation and transpiration. So we receive only 1869 BCM. And out of this, around 40% we can't use due to topographic conditions. So utilizable water resources is only 1123 BCM. Out of this, 433 BCM as groundwater and surface water is 690 BCM. ये 690 BCM में 254 is we can store in dam reservoir. This is the groundwater assessment report by CGWB. So our total groundwater recharge is 448 BCM, and our annual groundwater extraction is 243.72 BCM, which is 60.63 BCM. This is very alarming situation. Our annual per capita water availability is continuously reducing. In 2001, it was 1820 cubic meter per capita annually, which reduced to 1486 cubic meter in 2021. Means our India is already in stress condition. If it is come down to 1000 cubic meter, then it will be scarcity condition. This is the water use pattern. Our total annual water use nowadays is 700 to 750 BCM. But इसी हिसाब से चलता रहा तो 20 to 50 में it will become 1186 BCM. Maximum water we use in agriculture sector. So our So our management also from agriculture sector and domestic sector and industrial sector. This is the water demand management. In agriculture sector, our water use efficiency is only 30 to 35%. मतलब अगर हम 100 लीटर पानी यूज़ करते हैं तो उसमें सिर्फ 35 ही यूज होता है, बाकी सारा एज ए रन ऑफ वेस्ट जाता है। तो सबसे ज़्यादा काम हम इसी पर कर सकते हैं। इसमें अगर हमने माइक्रो इरिगेशन, स्मार्ट इरिगेशन सिस्टम से काम किया तो हम कम से कम 30 से 40% पानी और बचा सकते हैं। दिस इज द माइक्रो इरिगेशन, ड्रिप इरिगेशन एंड स्प्रिंकलर सिस्टम। और इंडस्ट्रीज़ में हम वाटर ऑडिट्स, वाटर इफिशिएंट इक्विपमेंट, वाटर रीयूज, रिसाइकल, रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग, इस सबसे इंडस्ट्रीज़ में हम अपनी डिमांड को कम कर सकते हैं। डोमेस्टिक सेक्टर में फिक्स लीकेज, दो तरह की लीकेज सबसे ज़्यादा होती हैं। हम घरों में एक छत पर पानी की टंकी है, अलार्म सिस्टम नहीं लगा होता, पानी बहता रहता है। एक हमारे रनिंग टॉयलेट्स रहते हैं, फ्लश टैंक खराब होता है और टॉयलेट पॉट में पानी लगातार बहता रहता है। ये मेजर लीकेज सोर्स हैं। रिड्यूस यूजेस में हमारा सबसे ज़्यादा वेस्ट पानी होता है किचन सिंक्स में। मेड जब बर्तन धोने होते हैं पानी चला देती है और 30 से 40 लीटर पर मिनट की स्पीड से पानी चलता है, जबकि ज़रूरत है हमें करीब 15 लीटर पर मिनट के लिए। अगर हम एरेटर लगा देते हैं, जो आजकल नए टैप्स में लगे रहते हैं, तो एरेटर्स उसमें लगा दें और वॉश बेसिन में लगा दें तो हम कम से कम 10 से 15% पानी बचा सकते हैं। दूसरा है, पहले 12 लीटर, 25 लीटर, 16 लीटर इस तरह के फ्लशिंग आते थे, आज 6 लीटर के आ रहे हैं, उसमें भी ड्यूअल सिस्टम है। तो अगर हम उनको यूज़ करें और अगर आप यूरिन के लिए जा रहे हैं तो 3 लीटर वाला बटन दबाएं तो हम काफ़ी पानी सेव कर सकते हैं। रिसाइकल में मैं अभी बात कर रहा था कि बेंगलोर में जितना भी फ्लशिंग के लिए है वो ग्रे वाटर यूज होता है हाउसिंग सोसाइटी में, तो हम 20 to 30% पानी इसमें भी बचा सकते हैं अगर हम ग्रे वाटर रिसाइकलिंग करें तो। रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग के बारे में अगले उसमें बताऊंगा। और एडॉप्टिंग वाटर सेविंग हैबिट्स, भाई आप अपने घर में एक डेजिग्नेटेड ग्लास रख लें, ऑफिस में एक ग्लास रख लें, बार बार उसे धोना ना पड़े, और हाइजेनिक पॉइंट से भी ठीक है, और वैसे भी बार बार धोने से जो पानी की बचत होती है, पानी वेस्ट होता है, उसकी बचत हो सकती है। तो वो थे वाटर डिमांड मैनेजमेंट। नाउ वी कम टू वाटर सप्लाई मैनेजमेंट। दीज आर द वेरियस मेजर्स कि अब पर डैम तो हम नई स्टोरेज कैपेसिटी क्रिएट करना मुश्किल है, तो हम इंटरलिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर पर बात कर सकते हैं। ग्राउंड वाटर रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग से ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज कर सकते हैं। रिस्टोरेशन ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल वाटर बॉडीज एंड रीयूज एंड रिसाइकलिंग ऑफ वेस्ट वाटर। This is a project of Ken-Betwa interlinking project in Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Recently, Prime Minister Modi ji inaugurated this in Khajuraho. Around 1 BCM water can be transferred from this Ken River to Betwa River. Anji?
Running short of time. We
Okay,
still
okay.
have
So,
speakers to go.
so I will, in 1 minute, I will sum up. So, rainwater is harvesting in simple terms is the collection of rainwater either from surface storage for reuse or for groundwater recharge. So, अगर हम इसी को दिल्ली में अगर हम बात करें तो दिल्ली में टोटल एक साल में 1 BCM बारिश होती है, 1 बिलियन क्यूबिक मीटर। अगर हम उसका MGD में कन्वर्ट करें तो करीब 600 मिलियन गैलन पर डे पानी हम बचा सकते हैं। अगर हम 20 या 30% पानी बचाएं दिल्ली में तो हम पानी की समस्या को दूर कर सकते हैं। ये ट्रेडिशनल टेक्निक्स हैं। एक लास्ट में मैं एक बताना चाहूँगा लास्ट में, ये सिंपल डिजाइन है कि अगर आपका 100 स्क्वायर मीटर का छत का एरिया है तो करीब हम 50,000 लीटर पानी हार्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं। और सेटलमेंट टैंक का डिज़ाइन करें तो अगर आपकी 100 स्क्वायर मीटर की अगर आपकी छत है तो आपको सेटलमेंट टैंक में सिर्फ 2 क्यूबिक मीटर का एरिया वॉल्यूम देना होगा। दिस इज़ अ थंब रूल फॉर डिजाइनिंग सेटलमेंट टैंक ऑफ रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग सिस्टम। दिस इज़ द ग्रे वाटर रिसाइकलिंग आई डिस्कस्ड। एंड ग्रे वाटर रिसाइकलिंग के दिस इज द चैलेंजेज है, लोगों को अवेयरनेस की कमी है कि किस तरह से करना है, हाई इनिशियल कॉस्ट है, रेट्रोफिटिंग में ज़्यादा खर्चा हो रहा है, और दिस इज अवर फ्लेक्सिबल गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव फॉर वाटर मैनेजमेंट. थैंक यू.
Thank you. I think we would invite the next speaker. Now, I think a very important topic you spoke about the rainwater harvesting, and a lot of flagship missions are also targeting it. But individually also, as you showed, that every household can do it. It's very important that we save every. Do you want a presentation to be put?
Yeah. Come.
Can you please start with your presentation first,
Yeah.
and we can have it.
That one you Alnavar. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, respected Joint Secretary Madam and ACS Sir Tushar Girindra Sir. Myself Ravi Kumar. I am from Karnataka Urban Water Supply and Drainage Board. Here I am going to present the 24/7 DFT project which we have achieved in Karnataka. Alnavar town is the town panchayat in Dharwad district in Karnataka. There we have achieved 24/7 water supply. This is a glimpse of Alnavar water supply system. Earlier there was no source, sufficient source. Earlier water was being supplied once in a 15 days. And already we have discussed in many forums that what all are the challenges we faced in the intermittent system, and what all are the advantages by the 24/7 water supply systems. This is the pictorial representation of the Alnavara water supply system, where the water is getting from almost 36 kilometers. Here I would like to generally brief about how to achieve 24 water supply system. Actually, we have to build a leak proof system first. Then we have to promote a demand management system to regulate the water usage from the consumers actually. Then we have to go for a smart water management system by providing sensors and transmitters and web-based monitoring system and all. Then we have to change the consumer consumption pattern actually. Normally in the intermittent system, what it will happen, whatever the time we leave a water for supply, every customers used to draw water at a time in a 1 hour or 2 hour. But in the case of 24/7, we have to educate all the consumers, and we have to ensure whenever they touches the tap, water is coming like that. Because in every towns, in every urban areas, we know that there is a consumption pattern, like few of the consumers wake up at 5 o'clock and they draw water. Some of the consumers wake up at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock like that. There is a different category of consumption in the urban areas. Based on that, we have to study the pulse of the consumers, and we have to educate the consumers basically. Accordingly, whatever the quantity of water we are going to supply in intermittent supply, same quantity of water we can give around the clock. Whenever we touch the tap, water will be available. This one we have achieved in Alnavara town with the same quantity of water which we were supplied for intermittent supply. We are giving around the clock, out of which there is a bigger benefits, like earlier everybody used to take a leave in a once in a 15 days only to store the water. But now such problem is vanished. Then earlier about 90% of the waterborne diseases has got reduced. Then everybody has used to use the motors to draw the water from the pipeline to directly as the water is being supplied once in the 15 days. That motors usage has got stopped completely, and about 60,000 electrical units in a month out of 1,40,000 units is been reduced in a month. And because of these reasons, all socio-economical life of the Alnavar town peoples also got increased. And here, which are the key initiative we got adopted in the Alnavar town with the simple technology, simple sensors and simple transmitters. By using it, we are monitoring the entire water supply system through real time, through web-based and Android-based. And as Madam, Joint Secretary Madam has added, we have bought the transparency in water supply system. Like not only we have displayed the quality display board, we have given quality data to every public fingertips. But through Android app, everybody can see what is the quality of water they are drinking and what is the quantum of water they are receiving, whether water is available in the respective zones of their house. Like that, we are giving all technologies to every public fingertips with the true transparency. Not only in addition to display board, we have provided the water stand post. Along with the water stand post, I will show the pictures, ma'am. This is the stand post actually, drink from stand post. Along with the stand post, we have given the LCD display of quality. Whomever is going to drink the water in the stand post, he can see what is the quality of water I am drinking, like that. Such a robust online monitoring system we have built, including the critical pressure monitoring point and chlorine, pH and residual rate. Everything we are monitoring through online. This is the level of transparency we bought in Alnavar water supply system. And we have a robust lab to test the water samples in the intervals of every hour. With respect to that, we do calibrate the results with the sensors, which is going to show the results correctly or not. Like that, we are calibrating that. And we have a mobile laboratory also. This project has been studied by the CMDR, Center for Multidisciplinary and Research Center, by interviewing more than 60% of the public in Alnavar. Earlier, people was not getting a water. Now they are getting continuously water supply they are getting, and consumption of water from directly from the tap is more than 70% they are consuming.
So I think in interest of time, we
ma'am.
can.
And coming to hashtag of this event, I would like to tell safe, smart and sustainability. And whatever the water we are treating and we are giving, we are ensuring it is safe by monitoring that quality around the clock. And coming to smart, we are using smart technology like sensors and RTUs, and around the clock we are fetching the data and we are showing in this thing. And coming to sustainability, in India, there are other cities come up with the DFT. There, the funding for O&M is directly from the government. But I can proudly say that in Alnavar and Tirthalli and in Nannigeri, we have self-sustained with the whatever the revenue we have collected from the local people. And even though, example, in Tirthalli, 4 crores around is surplus after expenditure from the water supply revenue. Later, government is giving that money to any other different works like roads and drains, like that it is. Such a level in our Karnataka, Tirthalli, Alnavar and Nannigeri has come up with. And now we are taken up 227 water supply schemes under Amrut, 215s are grounded, 8 schemes are commissioned, and the same way whatever we have commissioned DFT projects, around 30 plus projects we are going to take up with the DFT, and we will ensure that all 30 plus cities will be come up with the sustainable. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you for, there's always a myth around DFT projects. So I'll invite the next speaker. There's always a myth about DFT projects that you need more water. So you don't need more water. Whatever you already are giving, you just need to ration that and you just need to monitor that. So therefore, it's very good, and I'm very happy to know that you're sustaining it all by yourself. And many cities are struggling with the sustenance part. So they start with DFT, but later on again they go back to the intermittent system. Great. Please.
Yeah.
So last but not the least. So we're all eagerly waiting for your address.
Yeah, I'm
Great.
the last one, madam. Everybody will angry on me, man. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm Rahul Priyadarshi, working as an additional chief engineer in Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board. BWSSB is established as first water body in India in 1964, and since then we are providing the safe drinking water to Bangalore city and collecting those after the use of this drinking water through our sewer network and treating this water and going for the safe disposal. With current 1 decade, if you see the scenarios, the water supply scenario and the water consumption scenario and water reuse scenario is entirely completely changed. So this is our city currently. Earlier it was 245 square kilometer. Similarly, city expands and Bangalore is become Brihat Bangalore and it became 800 square kilometer. Though the area is, we have added the newly area, but the government is getting challenged to provide the safe drinking water and the collecting sewage and the treatment of those used water. All are the challenges for the new infrastructure, new area when we will add it to provide the infrastructure to them. So similarly, our mission is mainly, as I told you, to provide the safe drinking water and collect this used water, treat and reuse. This is our main vision, main motto of the BWSSB. So since as the time is less, we have the BWSSB has different sources of water. It started from 1933, but similarly from 1974 onwards, after establishment of the BWSSB is 1964, every 1 decade, every 10 years, we are commissioning one stage of water treatment. And our source is the single source, the Kaveri, which is around 100 kilometers away from the city and literally 1,000 feet height. So considering these challenges, currently our 6th stage means Kaveri first, second, third, Kaveri 4th stage first phase, Kaveri 4th stage second phase, and the 5th stage. Altogether literally 2,230 MLD of water we are already treating and providing to Bangalore city. But currently, because our 110 village area, which is the outskirts of Bangalore city, the networks are still going on and the connections are, new connections are still in, under progress. So we are currently pumping only 1,820 MLD of water. So this is the actually source. If you see how the water is reaching to Bangalore, it is from the KRS dam and the Kabni reservoir. These two are the major sources for the Bangalore city, and government allocated around 29 TMC of water to the Bangalore city. Currently for the Kaveri 6th stage also, we have been given 6 more TMC water to supply the water supply to the Bangalore city. Here our treatment plants, the pumping station. This is the level difference just now I am showing. This is the overall water current scenario of Bangalore. We are a population of around 14 million and our total size is at approximately 800 square kilometer. And currently more than 11 lakh household connections we have already provided, and with the total water supply lines of around 14,000 kilometers. See, another challenge is here, because maintaining this 14,000 kilometer water supply line, which start from the 1964 we have already laid. So UFW is another challenge for us on account for water to reduce and to minimize. So earlier it was quite high, more than 49% was there. Currently we worked very hard in this area, and especially last 1 decade, and now it come down up to 28%. So considering those challenges, BWSSB is working more hard in that area to reduce the unaccount of water of Bangalore water supply. These are our water supply system provided. If you see here, the real projection of our water demand and the shortfall of Bangalore water BWSSB, since we were proposed 2031 for close to 14 million population, but currently Bangalore is already crossed 14 million population. So whatever the projection we are making, actually we are moving more faster than that. And our demand and supply gap is slowly increasing because of that reason, and the challenges we are facing more. Now reduced to challenges to cater these problems, we have to work two. Either we will provide Bangalore city the fresh water source, or do whatever the water is available in terms of a wastewater to reuse that water. So in that area, BWSS is working very means somehow good way, in especially last 1 decade, and what we are doing, we are forcing through the government policies to the citizen, to the industries, to the construction activities to use more our treated water for the other than drinking purpose. Other than that, we have made the Panch Sutras during our water scarcity in 2024, and to make this water supply shortages, how to reduce the fill the gap between the water supply and the water demand. So considering those things, we have more focused on the conservation of water, which are basically based on 2-3 major items. One, just now earlier Mr. Singhal has also explained about the fixing of aerators. Though it sounds very small, it costs just 50 rupees, but it reduces water. If you see the same water, same timing without aerator and with aerator, literally 50 to 60% water flow will come down. So indirectly, this will give very good support to save the drinking water. Similarly, nowadays all the new societies and the layouts when we are developing in the Bangalore, we are forcing them to go for the dual piping system and use more for the drinking purpose, and the other than the drinking purpose, they have to go for the treated water only. So this way we are forcing, and we are educating our citizen of Bangalore to go with the reuse of water. Similarly, rainwater harvesting is also mandatory for all the sites of 30 by 40 feet. So what we are forcing them to go at least rainwater harvesting for their rooftop area, and for that what BWCSP has made, we have constructed one theme park in Bangalore in Jayanagar area, where anybody can go 24/7. They can see which way and what the best way is suitable for that size of area, location, and industries or any educational establishment for the rainwater harvesting. Similarly, for the reuse of water, as I explained earlier, we are somehow forcing them, especially our construction activities, they only use the treated water for their construction purpose, and especially for the washing purpose, like metros also we are forcing them, please kindly take our water, and for them we are charging nominal charges. Charges are comparatively not even 30 to 40% of our drinking water charges. So in this way we are encouraging the people to go for the reuse. Similarly, we are also involving the communities for the awareness, especially for the reuse purposes. So what we have done, we have trained around 600 Jal Mitras in different societies with the help of RWAs.
So, but I think Jal Mitras and all this community engagement, other speakers have also spoken about, and I'm sure it's such an important aspect we all understand. So, I think in interest of time, because it's already 9 minutes to be precise over time, so I think we'll close the session, and I would like to thank all the speakers for various different aspects you spoke about, like rainwater harvesting. Mr. Singhal also spoke about. So
Okay,
I
ma'am.
think,
Thank you.
Thank you for that, and thank you to all the panelists for different diverse views that you shared about this sector of water and use water management. And circularity, again, would be the underpinning point that we all need to nudge the states, cities, everyone to ensure that we're using every ounce of water and everything saved is earned. So therefore, circular loop is all we need to look forward for making our cities in Viksit Bharat 2047 circular cities. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all our esteemed panelists for such a wonderful and insightful session. Now, I'd like to request Mr. Rajiv Agrawal, MD and CFO at Fairfest Media Limited, to please present the memento to the chair of the session, Ms. Isha Kalia, IAS. A round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Now I would request Ms. Isha to please present the memento to all other esteemed panelists for the session. I'd request all the panelists to please come forward. We'll do a quick photograph. Thank you so much, panelists.